Good evening, everyone. As we're going from one place to another, the terrorism continue to hit the Jewish communities all over the world. The anti-Semitism is on the rise, just as I told you. Unfortunately, every day somebody else gets stabbed or attacked, not to talk about all kinds of other things on the media, on the internet. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending us a serious message, and the shuls are getting attacked. You know, one time, you say coincidence, second time, but it's constant. Now they're going after shuls, which means there's a message against shuls, what the shuls have to wake up to do right. We're continuing our common question series, and like I told you, the whole series is 3 different books. 2 of them are behind us, which means maybe 20 more lectures will be done, or maybe less. 20 more lectures we can be done. So we'll see, Bezrat Hashem. So it all depends on the topic. Some topics I'm skipping, because not every topic is good to start going into it. It may take forever. Okay, so the first question for today is, if a person will get up in the morning, as we all know, after saying Modeh, first thing he has to do is to make netilat yadayim, to wash his hands. The question is, what happened if a person made netilah, dry his hands, and then someone's hand that was standing next online, he did not wash his hand yet, and his hand touched your hand. It happens sometimes, especially indoors when people stand online to use the sink. So you came out, accidentally your hand touched his hand. Since his hand has ruach ra'ah, bad spirit on it from the night, as the question is, do you have to go now and to do netilah again? Because he made you impure by touching him before he washed his hands, or not? If you say yes, then basically every secular person that you shake his hand during the day without gloves, automatically it would require you to do netilah, because they don't wash their hands in the morning, netilah. They wash it regularly in a sink, but they don't use it left and right 6 times, which does not take away the ruach ra'ah, the bad spirit. So obviously we never seen anyone that every time he shook hands to a non-religious guy, he runs right away to wash to do netilah. We don't see anybody does it. So the answer is why. The question is why. The answer is, if your hands is still wet a little bit, you dry it, but not perfectly, still have few drops, and then he touch you, then you became impure again. You have to run and do netilah again. But if your hands was completely dry, you dry it very good, and it touch, doesn't matter. It only transfer from a drop from water that has what we call under 86 grams of water. Then when the hands can become impure again. But if, for instance, there's a big, massive amount of water and someone puts his hand with bad spirit inside the water, it doesn't affect the water. Only if it's a small amount of water. Then the water nitmaim. We have a rule that in the morning when a person gets up, he cannot basically, the first thing he has to do is to wash his hand. And he cannot walk more than 4 steps before washing his hands. The question is this the law or it's being extra strict? That's the question. Sometimes, we have what we call machmirim, chumrah, strict, being extra strict, which is good. If you can be extra strict, nothing bad can come to you. You keep in a high level. The question is, if a person got up in the morning as the sink is all the way in the other side of his mansion, and he walked 15 minutes until he gets to the sink, is he violating the rule or no? You laugh, Shem Tov? I tell you, I've been already in America in houses that you drive in their property 5 minutes until you get to the house. I gave lecture in a house like this. You go around, you have to look with the GPS where the house is on the property. Because the house for the guest, house for the servant, storage house, Oh, finally, you don't know which one is the house. As you drive, you keep seeing a nicer house and a nicer house until you really get to the real one. There's houses like this. What do you think? So the answer is, some are machmirim to walk 4 steps to stand, to walk 4 steps to stand, to walk 4 steps to stand. And like this, they don't go straight more than 4 amot. Amma, it's half a meter, which means 2 meters, 6 feet. Not to walk more than 6 feet straight, to walk, to stop. Some, according to Kabbalah, they leave the water next to their bed with a bucket. First, they cover it. First thing in the morning, they wash before they even walk 1 step. Is it required by law? The answer is no. It's Kabbalah. It's extra strict. Bottom line, some say, it doesn't matter how many steps you walk, run to the sink. It's not about how many steps, it's about how much time. So the faster you do it, the better it is. One way or the other, if a person walks normally to the sink, even if it's more than 4 steps to wash, he did not violate the rule. Right? So don't look at him and say, what a wicked guy you are. Why they gave me such a roommate in a dorm? That he takes his time until he washes his hands. Someone that is going to sleep after 1 at night, or I should really be precise to say after Jewish midnight. Jewish midnight is ranging, moving, depending on the season. Now is 11:49 tonight, 11:49. The more you wait, every day goes up another minute, every 2 days another minute. Maybe in a month it will go to 12:15, and then another month it will go to 12:30. As we approach to the summer, it will go up to 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. How is moving? It's not like by the Goyim, midnight is midnight, 12 o'clock, all the time, forever. Because the Goyim, they took the day, they know the day should be 24 times 60. 24 hours, 60 minutes per hour. So therefore, they decided not to make a hard life for themselves. They make the hours always 60 minutes, regardless if it's day, regardless if it's night. What do they care if it's light or not? They know, very easy life. The Goyim can do it, it's no problem. For them, it's not a violation. But for the Jews, it's a problem. Why? Because the mitzvot is depend on light and darkness. If you want to do Brit Milah, it has to be in the light. You have to put Tefillin, it has to be in the light. So if you want to do Birkat Alvana, it has to be at night. So there are mitzvot that they have their time. Plus, some mitzvot you can start or you can finish doing by specific hour of the day. For instance, Shema of the morning, 3 hours from sunrise. So now you have to know how long is the hour. So the hours of the day in the summer are longer than the night. And in the winter, the hours of the night are longer than the day. So to make a long story short and clear, an hour from the night and an hour from the day, all year around, always will be 120 minutes. If the hour of the day is 70 minutes, how much the hour of the night would be? 50. If the hour of the day will be 45 minutes in the winter, the hour of the night will be 75 minutes. And in the summer, the other way around. That's it. So every 2 hours, 120. That's all. It's like a husband and wife. You're going to take one from here, one from there, perfect match, beautiful, 120. That's it. So in the winter, the Kriyat Shema, you take 3 hours, 45 minutes each hour, or 50 minutes each hour. It only comes to 2 hours and 20 minutes, let's say, like the regular Goyim hour. So therefore, it's very, very short period of time. Also, when you pray Musaf on Shabbat, you have to do it within 7 hours from sunrise. 7 hours. You have to know 7 hours of the day, 7 hours of the summer, of the winter is different hours. So therefore, but for the Jews, it makes it different. Today, it's easy life. You have calendar, you have Zmanim. You download it into your phone, whether you have iPhone or Android. You put Zmanim, Zemanim, you have it, download it for free. It tells you where you are, you put your location. Every day it tells you what's the time of Kriyat Shema, the dawn, sunrise, midday, midnight, the appearance of the stars, everything you need to know. So Zman Kriyat Shema, everything you need to know in one page. Finish. End of story. Let's move on. The tradition, the law that we have, that we always start with the right hand. Everything that we do in Judaism is right hand. You make bracha, you hold the water with the right hand. You know, you have a fruit, you make a bracha, you hold it with the right hand. The right hand is mercy, the left hand is judgment. So if a person is doing things with the left, is that a violation of the law, or is just something not smart to do or not so recommended? Yes, we have to always know the line between what's the law and what's not recommended. Smart people, they don't care, law, not law. As long as it's not recommended, for me, it's the law. I'm not dealing with the smartest people ever live. If they told me it's not recommended, for me, it's the law. Many people are like that. They don't care. But some people want to do only what the law requires. Are they criminals? Can we call them criminals? The answer is absolutely not. So by hiding the law from them and only telling them the extra, you're taking a huge risk. It's like they say in Hebrew, tafasta merube lo tafasta. You go for too much, you're left with nothing. Right? This is the story of Rabbi Akiva and the Caesar. The Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, I should say. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, when the Romans came to destroy the second temple, he was the president of Israel. So after 3 years that they made a siege around Jerusalem, he went to surrender. And he said, Shalom Adoni HaMelech. Hello, Your Majesty. So he said to him, if I am your Majesty for you, why did you make me sit here and wait for you 3 years until you came? They started in a negotiation. They showed him how smart he is. I don't have time to tell you the whole story now. But in the end, this Roman Caesar was very admired by him because everything he said happened. So in the end, he said to me, listen, I'm going now to Rome because as you told me, I'm going to be the king, and I am going to be the king. So before I leave, ask me something. I owe you. Ask me a favor. So he said to him, I want 3 little favors from you. Little ones. What? Don't kill Rabbi Tzadok. There was one rabbi fasting for 3 years. His stomach became like a piece of paper. No one knows how to cure him. The Jewish doctors didn't know how to cure him. So they needed this Roman specialist to know how to cure him. Chokhmah bagoyim ta'amin. The Gemara says, some goyim are very smart. You can use their brilliance. Okay. So say, okay, Rabbi Tzadok, consider it done. What else do you need? Ask me something serious. He didn't know. He thought Rabbi Tzadok is his friend, so he feel bad for his friend. But he didn't understand that 3 years they could not break the walls of Yerushalayim thanks to the merit of this Rabbi Tzadok, who was fasting for 3 years. Fasting, I don't know, maybe he was only eating at night, maybe he was only drinking. 3 years, his stomach became a piece of paper. Then he told him, there's yeshiva in Yavne, don't kill them. Let this yeshiva sit and learn Torah. What do you care? One yeshiva, one group of rabbis. That yeshiva don't touch. He said, okay, since we're going to kill anyone anyway, and they're not going to be able to see the face of their Torah ever again, one yeshiva allow them to keep. No, what else do you want? And he said to him, the third request is, this family, don't touch them. Who? Rabban Gamliel. That's the family of King David. That's where the Mashiach come from. If they kill them, the Mashiach will never come. Because the Mashiach has to be, the Mashiach ben David comes from the family of David HaMelech. So he said, who are they? He said, you see, this Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, Rabbi, all this, they all come from the same dynasty. Don't touch them. Okay. Yeah, he got away easy. This king, he didn't know the secrets behind this request. He thought, family of his friends, let them leave. This Rabbi Tzadok, why do I care? Let him leave. One yeshiva, the rabbi sitting over there, I can live with that. No problem, he signed, nobody touched them. That's okay. So now, then they say to Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai, what kind of request you made? You made a very big mistake. You should have asked him not to destroy Bet HaMikdash. What are you asking about Rabban Gamliel and this? If you ask them not to destroy Bet HaMikdash, everything will be fine. So he answered, if I'm going to go for too much, he's going to say, hey, Rabbi, please lend. You went a little bit too high. The only reason we are waiting here 3 years is to destroy your Bet HaMikdash. You're telling me now not to destroy it. The whole mission was to come here to destroy it. Obviously, they won't agree. So you say if they destroy Bet HaMikdash, there's nothing we can do. But at least the seeds for the future we still reserve. So the same thing over here. If you come to a person and you tell him more than what he has to do, sometimes you get away with that. He's a very high soul, and he's going to do it, and he's not complaining. Even if one day he will find out that it wasn't really required, a lot of the things he did. It was extra. He won't make a peep out of it. Why? He's happy, he's tzaddik. Doesn't have problem. The problem is what's going to happen when you fall into the hand of someone that is not such a big tzaddik. And he said, oh, so all this time that I was putting the water next to my bed was extra? All this headache that I had when I went on business trips, I had to carry it with me and with a suitcase. All these things was for nothing, basically. I could have used a regular glass from the hotel and make netilah, and all of that was for nothing. I'm done with these rabbis. I don't want to hear about this religion. It's nothing better than Christianity. Leave me alone. Yes, that's what happened in the end. That's why it's very dangerous to force chumrot on the public. Rav Eliashiv said, to Baalei Tshuva, you're not even allowed to mention chumrot. And Rav Ovadia also always used to scream, tell people the law, not what you think it should be the law. What's the law is. Anything. And you always tell them, if you do extra, tavo alecha bracha, extra blessing will come to you. So, the answer is, it's not a sin, but it's better because of Kabbalah to always use the right hand, because the right is mercy. Next thing, baby that is born, is it required by halacha to wash his hand netilah every morning? Every morning the mother has to wash him and say Shema for him. In the morning and in the evening she says Shema, fine. But in the morning, that she has to do netilah for him or no? Or it's also chumrah? What do you think? The answer, only when he understands what life is, when he begins to understand what's going on. From then it becomes an obligation. Because now you have chinuch, a baby 1 month old, what does he understand from his life? Do you think one day he will remember that his mother went every morning and took him to the sink? He won't remember that. However, if he wants to go also in chumrah, it's recommended to do it. Women that use this, when their nail is not so beautiful like it used to be, so they use, what do you call this? Nail polish. Not nail polish. Filing the nails, but it doesn't cut the nails. Nails that you cut and they fall on the floor, you gotta put them, you have to burn them or flush them in the toilet or bury them. Now it's become powder. It flies around. Nobody even realizes there's nails around. The question is, does it have the same impurity and the danger of cutting nails or no? Or since it's powder, it doesn't have mamash in it, doesn't have anything real in it. The answer is, it's not a problem. Why? Because the Gemara didn't say, the Halacha in Shulchan Aruch, it did not require you what to do with the nails. The Gemara says someone who throws the nails on the floor is a wicked person, which from here we understand. From here we understand only a fool will do such thing. But, or someone who never heard of it, or ignorant or a fool. Someone who heard about it and still throw his nails on the floor can cause a damage to someone else, then it's not such a smart thing to do. However, it's a sguli, it's inyan sguli, it's something spiritual. And therefore, we are not allowed to add to the sgulot of Chazal. If the sages told us that someone who bury is tzaddik, someone who burns is chasid, someone who throws on the floor is rasha, that's it. Don't make extras. They spoke about actual nails, which mean powder that flies with the air everywhere. It doesn't have anything real in it. You have nothing to worry about.
You have to wash it?
To wash, yes. Then, when a person comes out of the bathroom, Does he need to use the netila cup? Or he can just go like this with his hand. Open the faucet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You understand? It's much faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like in a gym. A few times a day, exercise. Or he has to sit, fill it up. 1, then 3, and then fill it up again, which takes probably 4 times longer. In the morning, he must use the cup. When he eats, he uses the cup. The question is after bathroom, does he need to use the cup or no? The answer, no. He can do like I said. But what happens if he's mahmir? Let's say he's extra strict, and he say, I don't care. I do it like I do it in the morning. No problem. You're entitled to. But there's a big rabbi come next to him, or even a small rabbi. He comes next to him, and the rabbi did like that. And after the rabbi, he wants to do with a netila cup. Is he allowed, or it's no? Or is it embarrassing him? Like, what are you pretending you're more tzaddik? Or it's yehirut? What do you think? Busha, right? So there's 2 options. One is going to do only now like that, not to pretend that he's more important than him. If he does like that, you can also do like that. Or you wait a minute. He waits when he leaves, nobody pays attention, then he comes. No problem. Same thing if you go on a trip with your rabbi and he doesn't put the bucket next to his bed. He gets up and he walks to the sink and does netila. Don't be tzaddik harbe. Oh, preparing everything. Next. When a person donates blood, you know, people sometimes donate blood. Do they need to do netilat yadayim? Because in the time of the Gemara, they used to have special leech that they used to put on certain places on the hand, and the leech sucks the blood, and they knew that by taking blood out of the body, and the body will create new blood, it's good for the system. It's an ancient medicine. So they used to do it from time to time. And after that, the halakha requires that he has to do netilah. The question is, what happens if they donate blood with a needle, not with a leech? Needle, the blood goes into a bag, gets up. What does it have to do with my hand now? Gets up and go. Didn't touch anything bad now. The question is, does it require netilah or no?
Science says yes.
The science, it's for germs. I'm talking halakha now. Bikur cholim. The answer is no. It doesn't require, but it's good to do. It's good to do. Gel. You know, they have this special gel against germs in the hospitals. By the way, I heard that it creates a lot of problems, this gel. Once it's absorbed inside the body, it's very dangerous. That's what I heard a few days ago, first time. I would never believe. You come to purify your hands, and on the other hand, it absorbs into the system, and it creates all kinds of problems in the body.
Alcohol.
I don't know. I didn't look deep enough into it, but I just saw that it's a problem with that. It can cause all kinds of problems. So the question is, if you still want to use it, after you heard it's giving you some problems, whatever the problems are, the question is, can you use it instead of netilat yadayim? You want to eat now, it cleans the hand. There's no question about it that it cleans. If your hands were dirty, you go like this, it cleans the hand pretty good. And then you dry it with a napkin. Is it good enough, or you still need netilah? To eat bread, I'm talking.
No. Are you saying there is no water?
Huh?
It's a different question. Is there water?
There's water, but you have to walk a little bit further in a hallway, in a hospital. The answer, you can use it only for mayim achronim. Mayim achronim. You got it? Not mayim rishonim. For mayim rishonim, you need netilah before you eat. Person that has wounds in his hands and is not allowed to make them wet. That's why he has all these blisters. Not allowed to make them wet. If he will have these rubber gloves, right? When he goes inside the bathroom, when he comes out, does he need to wash his hand anyway? Or the rubber gloves, since they were on his hand, the bad spirit of the bathroom cannot go on the hand? Huh? The answer, he won't need netila if it has gloves. Next question. If mother cuts the nails of one of her kids, does she also need to do netila, or only the kid has to do netila? The answer, only the one that his nail gets cut needs netila, not the one who cuts.
Same with the barber?
Same thing with the barber, technically. With the barber, it's a different problem because the barber also touched the greasy hair. So he needs netila. If he's normal, he needs netila. Otherwise, he puts the hair of someone who didn't take a shower for a week and he eats his eye. And next question. Person wants to take Hebrew newspaper into the bathroom. Hebrew it's letters that HaKadosh Baruch Hu invented, not Tony and Vinny and Muhammad. It's holy letters. Even though the story is secular, it's nonsense. Maybe it's science, maybe it's politics, maybe which Rabbi is coming to town, Tzaddik Balair, ads, wedding invitation, whatever it is, but it has Hebrew in it. Is a person allowed to bring it into the bathroom, or it's disrespect for the holy language?
Some papers, questions, you can take it out.
Some writing is mitzvah to put it inside the bathroom and flush. But the question is, a person wants to get a religious newspaper. They write all kinds of stories. The answer, mi'ikar adin mutar. The actual halacha, it's allowed. But many are strict with this halacha particularly, not to do it. Then, I have in my cell phone all the Torah inside my cell phone. Can I bring the cell phone into the bathroom?
Yeah. It's not really.
When it's not on the screen, what's the question? It doesn't exist. What exists? A little piece of wire inside. Nothing exists. I'm talking now when it's on the screen. You left it on the screen. You don't want to go out of that page because you forget where it was. You want to leave it there. But at the same time, you may get text. So he puts it by the window in his bathroom, but it has parts of the Torah in it.
It's not written.
Is this disrespecting the Torah? Or since it's only light, it's not really written, doesn't have anything real in it? Well, if you say it's real, then we will never be able to switch pages. After we have the name of Hashem on the screen, you'll never be able to delete it. You're not allowed to delete the name of Hashem.
You said on the computer screen, we discussed.
I'm talking on the phone. Yeah, we spoke also on a computer. So the answer is, if it's on the screen, would we be able to do such thing or no? The answer is, if it's on the screen, it's not allowed. Even though it's not really writing, and you can delete, and you can go to page from page to page. After all, if it's on a screen, you're bringing actual story from the Torah into the bathroom. If a person looks at that, what's the first thing gonna be? He thinks about it. It's enough he thinks about it, it's already an avera. Now it's already halacha. You make sure it doesn't get on the screen before a person takes his phone into the bathroom with himself. Next question. Am I allowed to learn math in a bathroom? Prepare for a test? Don't have other time. So I say, you know what, I have a month until the test. Every day 10, 15 minutes. By now I finished to prepare for the test. Yeah. Allowed or not allowed?
Vilna Gaon did it, didn't it?
Yeah.
All the science the Vilna Gaon learned in his life, they say learn in his bathroom. And don't forget, his bathroom wasn't like us, $250,000 bathroom. It was 250 years ago, no light, nothing to sit on. I don't know how he was learning. He goes to the field 2 o'clock at night with the lamp, learning math. I don't know. Well, it was the Gaon Mivilna. I really cannot imagine how it took place. Next question. Can we take food with us into the bathroom if it's completely wrapped? When is this question relevant? When you fly. You're going to in the airport, you take kosher food with you. You have to use the bathroom. You're not going to leave your bag with all your money and passport and everything outside. So you have the Tefillin inside the suitcase or inside your bag. You must go into the bathroom. Even though it's wrapped with a bag and it wraps inside, question is, can you bring it inside or no? Food, Tefillin, whatever you have over there, Tanakh, allowed or not allowed?
Double wrap.
Not allowed feeling.
As long as it's in a...
Well, you can leave the tefillin outside either.
Double wrap.
The answer, not lechatchila. You must do everything you can to find other solution. So if you find another religious Jew there, usually in every airport you find. I'm telling you from experience. No matter where you go, you find someone. Hey. So you say, watch it 1 minute, I'll be right back. No, you found a way out. If you don't have a choice, it's the fact that it's wrapped twice, the food and the bag around it, it's to cover, then it's allowed, but it's better not to. Next thing, if a person wants to think inside the bathroom about faith in Hashem, he's working on his emunah, doesn't learn Torah now, doesn't learn halacha, just emunah, faith. Dear God, I have to stop being a loser. I have to trust you more. Why I always have this fear? That's how he think in his mind. Thoughts are running. Is that considered learning Torah? Or thinking about Hashem? Or whatever is not allowed in a bathroom? Or actually, since it's emunah, why not? What's the problem of thinking about being a greater believer? Huh?
You can't help it.
Good questions today. It happens all the time. All these things we mention, almost every day we have this dilemma. The answer, emunah allowed. Emunah, to think about emunah only allowed. The problem is that I'm telling you already, there's no one who knows how to separate between emunah and other things. If you're chacham and you know how to separate your thoughts, then fine. But somebody else. Next thing. I found shoes that they have Star David in the bottom of them. It was made by anti-Semite. They are actually, I actually saw one thing like this in my eyes. They put Star David in the bottom, that everyone will stand on their shoes when they walk, which it's like they're not doing it for 3,000 years anyway. Now it has to be more official. The question is, can a Jew walk on without shoes or no? What do you think?
Depends on his government. Nothing religious about a Star David. Star David is not religion.
The answer is Star David. Star David, what's the source of the Star David? Where did it come from? Is that a Jewish symbol? Everywhere you go, you hear that yes, and I'm telling you that it's not a Jewish symbol at all. If it was a Jewish symbol, it would be mentioned a few times in the Talmud at least, by the Rambam, by the Rishonim, in the Zohar maybe. Nobody ever knew about it. All of a sudden, in the last 300 years, it becomes the symbol of Judaism. I actually saw a source that it came from the Goyim.
Zila Malach has.
Zila Malach, it's another question who wrote this book. You see, that's the problem. There are many things that are questionable. If you take it to the court of law, and you have to present your case and to prove it beyond reasonable doubt, even in the United States, when they don't require no doubts at all, like the Torah, beyond reasonable doubt, which means you can have 5% doubt, it's okay. But 95% they accept it, the proof. But the Torah has to be complete proof. By them, beyond reasonable doubt. Even that test you don't pass. You want to prove that Star David is a Jewish symbol, you cannot prove it beyond reasonable doubt. You want to prove Raziel HaMalach, Avraham Avinu wrote it, or Adam HaRishon, or there's all different opinions. You cannot prove it beyond reasonable doubt. The only thing you can prove beyond reasonable doubt is that Torah was given by the creator of the world. In case you have a doubt about it, watch my Torah and science film. You can prove that parts of the Talmud, which is what we call the oral Torah, Torah Shebe'al Peh, was also given by Hashem, because there's knowledge over there that no human being was able to know. Obviously, only the creator of the world. And that's just about it. You don't know the rest. The rest is very hard to prove. We have emunah, we have tradition, we have beliefs, we have from face to face, from hand to from mouth to ear. Yes, but originally, the only thing in all the 80,000 religions in the world that can be proven 1,000,000% with no doubt is that the Torah that we hold is directly from Hashem in a public event in Har Sinai. And the oral Torah, which without the written Torah doesn't make any sense, so the oral instructions were also given. That's it. Everything else is a matter of emunah. Do you understand the difference between yediah and emunah or no? Yediah means 100% knowledge, no question. Emunah can be 99.9%. I believe 99.9%. Next question. Kippah, yarmulke, is this the law or also chumrah? Do we even have to walk with the kippah or no? Or it's only midat chasidut and chumrah? What do you think? The answer, it's the law. It's the law. It's not chumrah. Why? Since all the Jews in the world that are religious already doing it for many, many hundreds of years, not putting a kippah, being religious and not putting a kippah, there's no bigger chilul Hashem than that. And chilul Hashem is 1,000,000,000 times bigger sin than to walk without covering your head. We're not even talking about that issue if your head is covered or not. We're only talking about what it's going to reflect to the public. That you are religious and you're embarrassed of it. And that's a very big chilul Hashem. And I don't care that there are many righteous Jews that in their office they put the kippah in a pocket or inside the coat, and as soon as they come they put it or their hat and they go out, or when they come to the restaurant they take the kippah and make birkat hamazon. They should know that's a very big chilul Hashem. A Jew has to be proud that he's a Jew, not to hide it. If the Muslims who have religion of kindergarten, full of mistakes and contradictions and makes no sense whatsoever, they're proud of their nonsense religion, we that have the only religion that it's legit, the only real religion, should wave it everywhere, not to hide it in a pocket. However, there are some countries that it's not possible anymore to walk with kippah. In Turkey, when I went there first time, they warned me, cannot walk here with kippah, you have to come with beret hat. Beret hat is kippah, even better than kippah, cover the whole head. Any hat is good. Doesn't have to be that exact kippah. Any way to cover the head, fine. Because it says in Shulchan Aruch, not allowed to walk 4 steps without kisui rosh, without kippah. So, France, same story. Even England, Belgium now, it's becoming dangerous also. There are countries, it's really sakanat nefashot. So far in America, not yet. But we're beginning to see signs now that it's about to happen in a few months. I don't know if we're going to be standing here next year, if we will be able to walk here with kippot anymore. Because it's such a wave of anti-Semitism, it's like a snowball. Who knows, 1 or 2 big incidents, or one Jew that will retaliate, will create riots. You don't know what can happen. So far, it's still possible, but it's still beginning to be risky. But the risk right now, it's small. But in France, it's a very big risk. There's millions of Muslims that are waiting to kill you any minute, and they recognize you by the kippah. So the kippah can get you killed. The kippah can be the reason that they target you.
How about in Syria? Everybody goes there without a hat.
Yeah, in Syria, maybe it was dangerous when the Arabs there, Muslims over there, so the Syrians didn't put kippah over there. But today, when they came to New York, what reasons they have not to put kippah?
The Germans is the same.
Could be by the time of the Germans the same. Yes, we know what the Germans did to the Jews, obviously. But I want to tell you also one more thing now. Since the beginning to attack shuls, every person who's on a board of a shul and listen to this lecture should bring it to their attention to hire security guy. Full-time security, at least for the time of the prayers. If the morning people come to the shul from 7 until 10, 11, there are people in the shul. So 4 hours security for the morning, and then mincha time, few more hours security, just like in Mexico. In Mexico there's no terrorism, but there's crime. They can kidnap people, they can rob people, they can steal cars, they can do all kinds of things like that. It's not that they come after you because you're a Jew to kill you. It's very unlikely. But the crime is so dangerous there. The people are poor and desperate. They'll do anything. They kidnap one Syrian Jewish kid for $3-4 million that they're going to get. They know that's a done deal. No Syrian parents will let their kid die for a few $1 million. There's no such thing if they have the money. So they know it, the Mexicans. That's why they have to hire a lot of bodyguards. When I was there, everywhere you go, they open your trunk, they check. You basically, they're letting you know, my friend, we're waiting for you. We have security, buzzer, gates. Here, it's about time to start. They attacked the shul. They plan to bomb the shul in Riverdale a year or two ago. Do you remember that or no? It's a very big thing. They caught a few terrorists. Another month before they caught them, another month they would blow up the whole Riverdale shul with hundreds of people there. So now we know that they're targeting shuls. They are. Once you know it happened 3 times already, that's it. It's chazakah. You have to hire security, and it requires by the law of the Torah. If someone tried to attack you 3 times in your home, what are you going to do? You wait to get killed? You have to be prepared for the 4th time. Next question. The kippah itself, since it's a religious item, does it have holiness in it? Meaning if it falls on the floor and you step on it, did you violate the rule? Or if when it became ripped, you throw it to the garbage instead of putting it in a gniza, did you violate the rule or no? What do you think?
Throw it in the garbage.
You're allowed to throw it to the garbage or no when you're done?
Yeah.
The kippah itself does not have kedusha like the tzitzit. The kippah itself doesn't have kedusha. But when the kippah is basically becoming too old and needs to be replaced, it's not a good sign when a person throws it to the garbage. It comes from a bad place. Like if you have respect for the religion, and kippah symbolize your religion in our days in the public, you don't throw it to the garbage. You put it away and that's it. Now, goy that teach in Jewish yeshivot, English, science, math, it's strict yeshivot, the higher goyim that knows how to teach. Is the goy has to walk with kippah in front of the kids? Or no? When the kids ask, what is this? Who is this guy without kippah? He's not a Jew. What do you want from him? What's the principle of the school? What does he have to do? To ask the goy to either come with a hat or kippah? Or whatever he wants to do, he can come as the way he wants, any way he wants. What do you think? The answer, everything goes by the custom and the tradition of the place. But the law is, it definitely does not need kippah. Not in schools, not in weddings, not waiters, none of them has to put kippah. They want to respect the place and put kippah. Even Obama put kippah when he came to the Western Wall. He put kippah, fine. Chinese in the Western Wall, they put kippah, even so one of them put tefillin in the Chabad booth. Chinese guy puts tefillin. So the question is if the principle wants to avoid questions from the kids, little kids asking all kinds of questions, or sometimes, for instance, by Hasidic school, if they hire a goy to teach math, let's say, what would happen when he comes without kippah to the school? The kids will drink his blood with straw. Meaning, you go, you shake it, what is this? Why you don't have kippah? They don't know. Never seen in their life such a thing. They live in such a pure environment. I remember one time I had a guest that he came to the house without kippah, and all the Hasidic boys saw it. Go, yeah, all of them. You should see his face. Until today, 17 years later, every time he sees me, remember how this religious kid was screaming to me, Goy? I didn't know where to hide from the embarrassment. I said to him, that was enough for you to realize in what horrible situation you are. That little kids like this run after you and say, Goy came for Shabbos, Goy came for Shabbos. Can I learn Torah on the beach without a shirt and without kippah? Because as you know, on the beach is the beach. And they have a beach in Israel for men, one day for men, one day for women, separate beaches in few cities. Now, since you're already standing there with your short, whatever, so the question is now, you just came out of the water, you drive yourself, you sit in the sun a little bit. What are you going to do? What a Jew that learns Torah will do and sits on a beach? He opens a book. Why? So the question is, does he have to get dressed and put kippah, or he can just learn without, because he's soon going again into the water, or maybe to run a little bit. What do you think?
Chilul Hashem.
Chilul Hashem? Chilul Hashem, it's in a place where people are supposed to be dressed and have kippah. Now you is like in a shower now, the beach.
There's a girl there.
Huh? No girls. You just walked in, you didn't settle yet. Try not to be late. So the answer is, if you only think, allowed. If he wants to say it with his mouth, he has to get dressed and put kippah.
What about the rest of the...
Someone wants to put Labron on his kippah, his hero. You have kids like that. Or anybody, movie star, he wants to put on his kippah a picture. Allowed, or it's big Chilul Hashem? The answer, bizayon shel hadat. It is a disgrace for their religion to take a picture of this kind of people. You put a picture of big chacham, fine. Even though it's not so common that people would do such thing. Do we have an obligation to sleep with kippah on or no? Well, it will fall anyway, so some people have this big kippot that they shove the head inside. And they, to make sure that the head is covered all the time. The answer, even though it's good to sleep with kippah, but it's not an obligation. But I say, someone who wants not to be bald, his hair needs to breathe a little bit. All day it's covered. He doesn't get the air that it needs. So at least when he sleeps, he falls, his hair breathes a little bit. Why? How do I know? Because I was in the Air Force. Almost all the pilots were all bald. Why? Because of the helmet. For hours every day they used to wear the helmet, but also under tremendous pressure. Almost everyone was bald. Why? When the hair doesn't breathe, it's a problem. It needs to breathe a little bit. So you take it away. You're not allowed to walk with that on the street. So when you sleep, it's an opportunity to refresh the hair maybe 2-3 hours.
What happens if you're on the beach and you put on a kippah? Are you allowed to learn?
Well, I just told you that even without the kippah, you're allowed to learn.
You said thinking, but
Thinking, you mean talking.
your mouth is not supposed to be moving.
Yes, allowed. If you put kippah, allowed.
You're allowed.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. As long as the heart and the erva is separated. And if you have a pants, it's fine. I prayed Shmona Esrei, and I realized it was without a kippah. Do I have to start from the beginning now or no?
It's accepted.
It's good.
Well, this is somebody who prays in his bedroom, Shachrit. And surely it wouldn't happen to him. Here you go, another reason why it's good to go to the shul. In his bedroom, it happened to him. He forgot to put the kippah on. The answer is, after the fact, it's considered that he prayed and doesn't have to repeat.
Rav, I've heard people that said both sides. So you couldn't agree with someone. I mean, someone's going to say a quick shakol, puts his hand on his head. Somebody said, no, put a dish towel, it should be a baguette of some sort. Somebody said, no, one rabbi told me,
The hand?
you have no kippah, whatever the reason.
The hand is not a cover. It has to be the sleeve. It has to be something.
But it's not disrespectful to put a dish towel, would be better than...
Towel? Why? The Arabs have kafiyot like this.
Realistic inflation?
Next. Next. Can I wear my kippah upside down? What's the question? One, it may look like a fool if they see the X from the other side. That's one option. Second option, we have a rule, it's also sgula, not to wear clothes, inside out. Why? Because it creates forgetness. Shichecha, we forget things. It affects the memory. Eating too much olives affects the memory. Going under a camel affects the memory. Going under a bridge in a lake that the lake is dry affects the memory. Taking few clothes together and wearing few together out of laziness affects the memory. What's the logic? Don't look for logic. It's mystical thing. Mystical, spiritual thing. Secrets that we learn over the years from the Chachamim. The question is kippah considered levush, that if you put it upside down, it affects your memory?
I remember in Shiva, when you had a headache, they used to say, turn over the yam.
When there was what?
Headache.
Headache. Well, here you go, so it's allowed. The answer, it's allowed.
So, because it's not a baguette, you mean the kippah is not a baguette? Yeah.
There is one basketball player in America that is religious. He has kippah. And he was a very good player. The question is, what he does is Kiddush Hashem or Chilul Hashem? When so many people see that a Jewish religious guy doesn't play on Shabbos, when there's a game on Shabbos he doesn't show up, he stands on his ideology. But, sport to begin with is culture of the Goyim. Was not invented by the Jews. All kinds of sports. So the question is this considered Chilul Hashem, Kiddush Hashem, or both? Sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's one hand it's Chilul Hashem, on the other hand it's Kiddush Hashem. Depends. And also it's depends who you ask. If you ask the Datilonim in Israel, they all scream, "Woo, big Kiddush Hashem, wow. Finally it happened." If you ask the Hasidish, say, "Man, out of here. Don't even talk to us about this stuff." It depends who you ask.
Make $1 million a year.
Huh?
$1 million a year, $2 million a year. Look up.
I have a much better job. I give him a machine gun every hour, $20,000. I give him a list.
Give Shabbat, no?
The answer parnasa, it's not even an option. If it's a kosher job, parnasa, it can be a shoe shine, it's parnasa. It can be a driver, it's parnasa, no problem. Once it's a sin, or chilul Hashem, this word parnasa doesn't come to the argument b'chlal. Who cares parnasa now? What's parnasa? Parnasa to make averot, to make money? So open the business on Shabbat, you have parnasa. Sell pig, you have parnasa.
But why is it a Chilul Hashem? Why is it a Chilul Hashem? Let's say somebody's a boxer. Why is it a Chilul Hashem?
Oh, so that's the question.
It's not a sin to play basketball.
The question is,
To be a wrestler in Israel.
Kiddush Hashem is to do things that are valuable according to the Torah, not according to the nonsense and the foolishness of society. Remember this rule. Whenever you ask yourself, is this Kiddush Hashem or Chilul Hashem? Jewish movie star. Religious one is in a show. The question is, what he does right now, is it valuable and appreciated by Hashem, by the Torah, by the Chachamim, by the Talmud, and by the Shulchan Aruch, or the opposite? The answer, someone that like this, obviously is not doing anything valuable according to the Torah. So therefore it's not Kiddush Hashem.
Playing chess also not allowed.
Playing chess, it's not anything that violate any rules of the Torah, unless if it's a big Talmid Chacham that learns all the time, then it's Bitul Torah. But if it's a person that learns Torah 2-3 hours a day, and the rest of the day doesn't do that much, besides working and going to places, he plays chess. It's actually good for the brain. It practices the brain to focus, to think, to be able to, when you make the brain work hard, it's like a muscle. You make the brain better. It's no wonder that the best Talmidim that went to our yeshiva over the years, one was a great chess player, was the best in Gemara. One was the champion of South America in math. In 2 years he finished the whole Shas and he remembered every line in the Shas. I used to ask him, Avram, where is this Tosfot? Like this. Open, show me. Avram, remember, there's this and that. One time he gave drasha, 2 years in yeshiva. In 2 years he learned Hebrew. He came from Venezuela. In 2 years, while he was learning how to learn Gemara, Baal Tshuva. In 2 years, while he was learning how to learn Gemara, he learned how to learn Gemara, he learned Hebrew, he finished the Talmud in 2 years, and when he gave shiur, this is things that would take 20 years to anybody else that considers smart, to learn the language and to learn the whole Shas, to remember every page. 20 years minimum, from morning to night. Not only he knew everything, the rabbi over there, Rabbi Berkovitz, was 45 years learning. 2 years against 45 years. One time his throat, he didn't feel good. So he said, who's going to now replace me? In a moment, he couldn't give the shiur. So he said, Avram, do you want to try to give the shiur? And he went like this. He was a very nice, shy guy. Okay. He pulled out 6, 7 Gemarot. He opened them quickly, put them on a pile. He gave the shiur. I looked at the Rosh Yeshiva, who is crying. Tears, he had tears. He got up, mamash, he was tzaddik. He got up. He was excited. He said, I'm learning 45 years. This sweet Ashkenazi tzaddik. He stands like this. I'm learning 45 years. And I don't think I'm ever going to be able to give such a shiur. He was shocked. The mind of this person, all his life learning math in the highest level, his brain was very good. So you see that there's also good in these things, chess, math. But if it comes on the expense of learning Torah, if you play every day 3 hours chess and in these 3 hours you can learn Gemara, that's stupid. You replace diamonds with silver. You understand? But if you have sand, replace the sands with silver. It's good. Do you understand the point? So now, if I did not get to put my kippah yet in the morning, got up, is looking for the kippah, and someone made bracha, his roommate, allowed to answer amen without kippah or no? The answer yes, but you're not allowed to say the name of Hashem. Now what happened if a person got up in the morning and, like they say in America, is dying to go into the bathroom? And he obviously is so in pressure to go to the bathroom that he doesn't have time now to do netilah and all that. So he runs quickly into the bathroom. Then he comes out. What does he do now? Obviously he has to do netilah. So he makes the bracha outside. He goes out. He makes netilah in the sink. If it's inside the room, then he goes out to make the bracha. Well, what happens if a person gets up in the morning, he needs the bathroom, and we know you cannot pray when you need to go to the bathroom, unless if you can hold it 72 minutes. So he obviously cannot hold it 72 minutes. Maximum 10 minutes he can wait. Then he's going to really need the bathroom. So the question is, he wants to wash his hand, go outside and make netilat yadayim, dry it, and now go into the bathroom. But he's going to say, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim, when he needs to go to the bathroom. Is this considered bal teshaketzu or no? Is this a problem because you need to go to the bathroom, you cannot pray? Rav Ovadia Yosef answered this question and he said it's no problem. What you're not allowed to do is to pray, not to make a bracha. The halacha, not to pray when you need to go to the bathroom. שנזקק לנקביו. תפילה, not bracha. If you make a bracha, you wash your hands, that's the first thing you have to do. You can say the bracha, dry your hands, go to the bathroom, and then wash again. This time you don't wash again for the netilat yadayim. You don't make bracha for netilat yadayim. Only asher yatzar.
Every bracha is like that?
Every bracha, if you need to say, and at the same time you need to go to the bathroom, you can do it. But usually the only time we really need to do it is in the morning. Otherwise, what's the problem to go first to the bathroom and then come? Huh?
Take a drink. He's in the car. He wants to take a drink.
Allowed. Rav Ovadia Yosef, not me. I, for years, I was machmir on it because I thought it's not allowed. Until I saw a question and answer. Someone asked this question, and he say it's allowed. Huh?
Why can't you do it after the bath?
Well, we know what it is, because when a person goes to the bathroom and his hand יש להם רוח רעה, it says not good to touch with the places where there are holes. Maybe each his ear or touch places that the body has nekavim. With ruach ra, it's not good. So the first thing he wants is first to do netilah, to relax from the bad spirit, from the ruach ra. Next question: are we allowed to erase the name Yehuda? Yehuda. It's almost like the name of Hashem. If you think about it, there's Dalet. That's Yud, Hey, Vav. Then there's Dalet and Hey. If you take out the Dalet, it's the name of Hashem. The question is, by erasing the name Yehuda, it's considered you erase the name of Hashem, or since there is a Dalet separating between the Yud, Hey, Vav to the last Hey, there is like a cut, then it's not considered to erase the name of Hashem. Because it's a very, very big sin to erase the name of Hashem. Very, very big sin. It's such a big sin. One guy in Israel bought a brand new car, and his neighbor almost died from jealousy. So the neighbor knew that his neighbor that bought the car is not gonna drive the car only in one way. What did he do? He took sand, he put it on his car, on the hood, and he wrote on the sand the name of Hashem, Yud, Hey, Vav, and Hey, on the hood. And now the neighbor came excited, first day to drive his car, you see it's covered with sand, and he wrote the name of Hashem. Now what's the problem? If he drives, he will delete the name of Hashem. So he had to call rabbis for hours, arguments between the rabbis, allowed, not allowed. In the end, they say you have to wait until the wind will ruin it anyway, when you cannot read it, and then you can drive. I hope I didn't give ideas for all the jealous people. If you know next time when you buy a car, someone did it to you, it's my fault.
No, but the opposite. Let's say you want to do it to somebody, but if they do the Chilul Hashem and erase it anyway, whose fault?
One way or the other, it's your fault. Whether they drove, whether they did not drive, you have to pay for ve'afta le'racha kamocha and other things that you do. Now, I have the letter Hey on my Hamsa necklace, which represent the name of Hashem. What's this Hey? Every time I go into the bathroom, do I have to take it off or no? Because it has the letter A? The answer no. If you had the whole full name, if you can hide it under the clothes, fine. If not, you will have to take it off. Just the letter A, no problem. Some people, and it's very common by Ashkenazim, they say Baruch Atah, instead of say Ado or Ado, that's the right way to pronounce, they say Adi. Adi. They have chirik under the dalet. This is incorrect according to all customs, not Hasidish, Sfaradish, Litvish, Yemenite. Nobody holds like this. But over the years, a lot of these American Ashkenazim kids, everywhere I go, I hear it. They say Adi. Then they're not saying the name of Hashem according to any shita. not Hasidish, not Litvish, not Sfaradish, not Temani. Mamash not saying the name of Hashem. It could be that they never say one bracha in their life. It has to be to pay attention that your children and grandchildren, they don't say, instead of saying Amoy, the Ashkenazim say Noi, Sfaradim say Nai, but one way or the other, no one say Aminai, if you know what I'm saying. So that's it. Next thing, when we say Shin, Daled, and Yud, when we pronounce it, is this considered Lo Tisa et Shem Hashem Lashav or no? We have on a mezuzah those three letters. Many people ask me, Rabbi, I got mezuzot from you, and only the Yud of the Shin, Daled, and the Yud, only the Yud, because once you hold the mezuzah, it covers that name. So they get nervous. You don't have to be nervous. Me'ikar adin, you don't even need to write anything from the outside of the mezuzah. That's extra. And if it's covered, it's no problem at all. So the question is now, this name, by saying this name, is it considered that you say the name of Hashem in vain or no? The answer, it's one of the names that you're allowed to pronounce. Allowed. It's not like Elokim or Amonoi or Yud Kei Vav Kei. Those are the names that a person is not allowed to say in vain. But some other names, even the word Dani, which many people in Israel, Daniel became Dani. Dani, it's one of the names of God. Shalom. Shalom, it's one of the names of God. God, Hashem has many different names, especially if you go with Kabbalah. Many different combinations. Now, the word God in Hebrew, do you have to respect it or no? G-O-D. Some say yes, because it's numeric value 26. No coincidence that God is also 26. Halacha now, not fairy tales. Right now, if a person see in God we trust on $1, can he walk with $1 into the bathroom or no?
Wow. Some people have tip classes, you put it
Huh?
Sometimes it's a tip class, you put $1 in together.
Let me tell you something interesting now. I will shock you a little bit. In Sefer Nefesh Harav, it says that the minhag of Rav Moshe Soloveitchik, when he used to go to the bathroom, he used to take all the American money out of his pockets and put it outside and then goes inside. Why? He says bizayon to the name of Hashem to bring it into the bathroom. But his son was not doing the same thing because it was chumrah, it wasn't the karadin. So what's the law? The law, it's allowed. What about Allah? The Arab took the Jewish name Kel, Aleph Lamed, and they made it Allah. The name Allah has any holiness in it, or it's nothing? It's like we're saying Hashem. Why are we saying Hashem? Because we cannot really say the real name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we say Hashem instead. Hashem doesn't have holiness, the word Hashem. It just tell us what we could not say. The question is, by saying Allah, does that has any holiness or no? Because after all, it's the same root. They took it from the same root. Many of the words in Arabic comes from Hebrew. Many, large portion of the language.
I'm sorry. Even if it's not the same root, if it means the same thing, we say Allah Ma'ah. What does that mean?
Many poskim say you're not allowed to say this name. You're not allowed to say this name, even in Arabic, in vain.
If you have in mind one God.
But what? Why? So if I
have to check really what's their sources. Over here it doesn't say so. It looks strange to me, very strange. But I have to check what's the source for it, if there is any source for it. Next question. What happened if a secular teacher wrote the name of God in secular school and some kids there are religious and he asks you to erase it with a sponge? What do you do now? Now, technically, you can never erase it forever. For 50 years, this school would stay. It has to stay on the board. There's no way to delete it. So what are you going to do? Maybe you wait until Sylvia, the cleaning lady, comes and she sees that. She says, wow, look, it's so dirty today. And she cleans it. He got away with that. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't understand Hebrew anyway. But the question is, what do you do as a Jew that someone wrote it on a board? What do you do? Psh, incredible. Wow, what an advice he gives. You have to take a big piece of tape, big piece of clear tape. You put it on a board. All the lime, what do you call it? The lime? The chalk. It's all going to glue into the tape, the name of Hashem. After you take it out, you put it in Shemos. You bury it. That's a brilliant idea. Who would ever think such a thing? Otherwise, the blackboard is gone. Next question. Next question. When we say half a verse, not the full verse, and it had the name of God in it, is this considered saying Shem Shamayim Levatala or no? But you say half a verse. You read a verse from the Torah, but you didn't finish it. Someone interrupt you. Is that considered Shem Shamayim Levatala or no? The answer, even though it has a meaning, half a verse still have a meaning, so he didn't say it for nothing. But it's machloket, safek. That's why you have to be careful even not to do that. Next question. A woman wants to wear tallit. She said, what's the difference? In Sukkot, you let me do arbat aminim. I also want to wear tallit. She's allowed or not allowed?
It's not mitzvah, though.
Huh?
It's not mitzvah.
For a woman, also, arbat aminim is not obligation. But why they do it? By the Ashkenazim, they even make the bracha. By Sfaradim, they're not allowed to say bracha. They're not obligated. How they say bracha? But the Ashkenazim say, since it's shvach leHashem, they don't really make it as a bracha. It's more like a praise. It's an argument about common sense. One way or the other, everyone has his side to convince. But now we're now talking, a woman wants to go like the Ben Ish Chai, like this, with their heels. Huh? The answer in Shulchan Aruch, it says not allowed. Why? It's clothes of a man. It's Isur Deoraita for a woman to wear talit. Isur Deoraita. Wow. Not only that, it's also Yohara. Pride. Too much of a pride. Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim Yud Zayin Bet. That's the source.
So women,
Gava.
women, when they wore begadim in the old days, did not have tzitzit on the corners?
Rav Moshe Feinstein, however, said that if a woman does not have intention to be reformed, to rebel against Hashem and their religion, but she means well, she means l'shem shamayim, she really anxious, she wants to do this mitzvah, and the clothes will be like women, pink, flowers, whatever, but it has real kosher tzitziot, then she doesn't have the problem of lo tilvash, because it can be one of those shawls that women put, and it needs tzitziot, and she can do it in hidden rooms. She can do it. Not in public to be matris, but if she has intention to do it because the rabbi say not to do it, so now she's reformed, she wants to do it anyway, then obviously it's a sin. Someone who cover himself with the Israeli flag, which has the shape of 4 corners. You know, many Zionists, that's what they do. They go in demonstration, they put it in soccer games, they cover themselves with this. The question is, since they wear it like clothes, do they have to put tzitziot in the four corners? Or no? The answer, it wasn't meant to be a clothes, to be clothes. Therefore, it's not considered. It's the same thing you can ask about the towel. If a person put the towel on his neck, now he's going to need tzitziot for the towel. Only if he was made to wear it, then you need tzitziot. Next question. Scarf, the same thing. Next question. There is a tallit katan, little tzitzit for the kid, but it doesn't have good smell. You know, kids, they're not keeping it clean. Is this considered a problem to let the kid wear it anyway? It has to be washed, or you can let him wear it with a bad smell? What do you think? The answer, you have to wash it, and even if you don't have an extra pair, let him wear it wet. It will dry off in the rest of the day. Someone that has a wig, a man that wears a wig, when he puts his tefillin on the wig, is this considered chatzitza? Because the tefillin has to be on the head. Someone who puts a wig is like covering his head with like a hat or something. Once he puts the tefillin on it, it doesn't touch the skull. Is this considered chatzitza or no? Separation, which means the mitzvah doesn't count for him, at least mitzvah of tefillin shel rosh. Or since he's wearing it all the time, it becomes an integral part of his body. Since it became already something that he never leave out, he's always walked with that, then in that case, it's no chatzitza. I'll give you an example. Women, they have this gel nail now, Puerto Rican style. You know, that in the end of it, they have a different line. It's one color, and then in the end, they put something that came from Zimbabwe, from Puerto Rico. I don't know who invented it. From Paris, maybe Paris. Okay, you got the point. The question now, she has to go to the mikveh. Is this chatzitza or no? It's a very hard question. Why? If it's chatzitza, it counts like she didn't go to the mikveh. Her husband goes with her. It's the worst sin in the Torah. Isur karet for both of them. But if it's not chatzitza, no problem. She went to the mikveh after all. What's the answer?
It's chatzitza because even one hair is...
One hair on a body, it's chatzitza. One piece of tape on a body, chatzitza. But these nails, is it considered chatzitza or no? Yes. The answer, if it's complete, there's no way to remove it. They have to remove it with some kind of a laser or something. There's no way to just clean it with alcohol. It's a very big investment to do such a thing. The question is like this. If the nails are complete, which means recently done, and she went into the mikveh with it, it's fine. It's not chatzitza. But if it's beginning to break and peel, even a little bit, it has to be removed completely.
All of them?
All of them. Or that one, I'm sorry, that particular finger. It started to break because the other ones are complete, they're not chatzitza. But that particular finger, if it started to break, it has to be removed. If she wants to put a new one and then go, it's no different like the rest of the fingers, fine. But if she just remove it, she's already allowed to go into the mikveh. Next question.
So with Tefillin, we didn't answer.
Oh, good. Tefillin. Oh, so how we got from the tefillin to the nails. Beautiful. Okay, so the tefillin, someone that put the wig all the time, meaning he even sleep with that, then it's not chatzitza. Someone who take it off when he comes home, when he's alone at night, then it's chatzitza. Therefore, if he comes to shul, he doesn't want to take it off. He has to go to a private place after and put it directly on his head. If he takes it off, then it becomes like a hat. Take it on and off. But if it's on all the time, then it's no problem. Next question, the yud of the tefillin. You know, when they make the knot here that is attached to the box of the tefillin, to the square, does not touch my yud does not touch the bite. Is this considered not good, or it's still okay? The answer, must touch. If not, it's me'akev. The yud of the tefillin, they make a special knot, and in shape of a yud, has to touch the box. If it's too far from the box and it's not touching, there's a way to do it. Sometimes they take a special gid, ligament, a wire from the cow, and they tie it, and they sew it, and they pull it in. Or sometimes they cut the tefillin a little bit deeper, and they push the yud a little bit deeper, because that's really what separates it, and then it's attached, they pull it from the other side, and it's touching. But many people think, it's chumrah, it's one of these chumrot. It's not chumrah, it's an obligation.
By the bracha, it's touching, and later on it moves out.
No, he has to touch all the... Well, if you touch one at the time of the bracha and you put it on, you already have mitzvah tefillin. It's enough that the tefillin is on you 1 second. If it moves out, it's count when it moves out that you don't have mitzvah tefillin.
You already made.
No, the square that comes up, the yud goes up and he has to touch it from the side. Yes, on the top. It's not all the way on the top, it's in the middle. Next. If my tefillin fell from my hand, what do I have to do? If it fell from 3 feet, less than 3 feet, not good that it happened, but not the end of the world, because it's not so high. If it fell from very high, it's a problem. But some say if it's in the boxes, if it's in a case and in the boxes, also no problem. Only if it's loose, if it's out of the boxes and it fell, that's when you have to fast. And if it's hard for you to fast, you give tzedakah. Something that hurts a little bit, you give tzedakah. And after that, you're okay. The Ethiopian people that came to Israel, are they Jewish or not? Now they made them convert anyway.
Depends who you ask.
So they convert. The question is, when they originally came to Israel, there was a very big noise because nobody knew how to handle black Jews. Because you didn't have black Jews in Israel. You didn't have black Jews in Europe. You didn't have black Jews in America. Basically, you didn't have black Jews anywhere in the world. All of a sudden, the Israeli and the American people heard for the first time of their life there are thousands of people in Ethiopia, that some of them even live religious lifestyle, and they claim they're all Jewish. And it started a very big argument between the big rabbis in the world. Some rabbis, they say that they're not Jewish, they must convert. Some rabbis say, well, they have Mesorah, they have tradition, they know how to keep mitzvah, you cannot ignore it. Just because they have different color of the skin, which we're not used to, doesn't mean it cannot be, because Jews were spread all over the world, and Jews look like all the other nations. How do you have blonde Jews with blue eyes? Jews that looks like Arab, Jews that look like German. How is it possible? They came from the same father eventually. The answer is, the Zohar already said it 2,000 years ago. The air that we breathe in different continents affecting the genes after hundreds of years, slowly. It's changing the genes like the place. That's why in China everyone is yellow with straight hair, the same eyes. And in Japan everyone the same. In the Arab countries they're all the same. In Scandinavia they're all the same. Why is it? Because the genes that they breathe over there actually affecting the people, affecting the people in such a way. So the question is now, are they considered Jewish or not? So Rav Ovadia Yosef was the one that actually saved the situation with them. After an investigation, he made a psak halacha that they are actually Jewish. However, some other rabbis did not agree. There was a very big noise. In the end, they decided, because of the doubt, to convert everyone. But the problem is like that. If they got converted, and from the minute of the conversion you see that they keep Shabbat, keep mitzvot, keep everything, then there's no problem. Even if he wasn't Jewish before, now he is. So you cannot marry to Kohen. There's limitation because it's Safek ger cannot marry to Kohen. Okay, that's the worst can happen. But here we have another problem now. What happened if they didn't keep mitzvot? And many of them didn't. Not everyone is religious. They came from Ethiopia. They took them to the mikveh. Some of them had Brit Milah, some not. So they made them, let's say, Brit Milah. They put them in a mikveh. 3 days later, he's driving in Shabbat, smoking a cigarette, which means he never accepted to be religious. He never accepted mitzvot. If he does not accept mitzvot, we have the first doubt that he came if he was Jewish or not. In case he wasn't Jewish, now the conversion did not help in any way. Because conversion is only when the person accepts to keep all the mitzvot of the Torah with no exception to the rule. Which means if you say one mitzvah I don't want to keep, this is not for me, then you're not allowed to convert him. So therefore, unfortunately, today, if one of your kids say, I want to marry this Yosef from Ethiopia, wonderful guy. Many of them are very nice people. They have very nice personality, down to earth, nice people. But just being a nice person doesn't mean you're Jewish. There's a lot of goyim that are nice. So the question now, one day, one of your kids, they met an Ethiopian girl or Ethiopian guy, and they want to marry them. And they come to you. What's the first thing you have to do? You have to first check, and the times that they arrive to Israel, his mother, let's say today he's 20 years old, but his mother, when she came to Israel 20 years ago, if she went to the conversion, who was the rabbis who made her conversion, and if she really kept the mitzvot. If she kept the mitzvot, then this Yosef is a Jew. If she didn't keep a mitzvot, is Safek Yehudi, Safek Goy. There's a doubt. Is 50% a Goy, 50% a Jew? Do you want your daughter to marry someone like that, or your son? That is 50% Jewish, 50% not Jewish? So therefore, what do? You tell him, so because we don't know if your mother really became religious in the time of the conversion, maybe she was Jewish all along. We don't know. There's big rabbis in the world that say no. And there's a big one who say yes. It's machloket, like many things in life. So since we don't know about your mother, we have a doubt. We still do not know what you are. And you yourself, how do you live with the doubt? You want to live all your life with the doubt? You come in front of Hashem and say, Dear Yosef, I'm very sorry to disappoint you. Your mother, at the time of the conversion, she never really converted for real. That's why you were born a non-Jew. And all this mitzvot you kept was for nothing. I'll give you a reward, but you're not going to where the Jews are going. That will be the worst tragedy for this Ethiopian Jew. After all he went through in his life, in the end they tell him you're not Jewish. So what he has to do, he himself, to get out of the doubt, has to push full force to convert. So that's why if she wants to marry him, you take him 5 minutes to the Beit Din, and I convert him. But that's again the same story, only if he keeps mitzvot. If he also doesn't keep mitzvot, or what we call in Israel datiloni, he says, I'll keep Shabbat. Okay, Rabbi, I'll keep Shabbat. But it's not anything else. Then what did you do? You still have a doubt here. That's a very problematic issue, very problematic, and people's feelings are getting offended. Because people cannot think with their head in our generation, only with the heart, almost everybody. Right away begin to scream and to yell. What are you screaming? We are trying to find out what's the truth here. According to the Torah, we didn't write the Torah. There's a boss to the world. He told you when you are Jewish and when you're not. And when there is a doubt, you must do everything to get out of this doubt, because you cannot live 60 years with a doubt if you're Jewish or not. You can't. But what happened if we have a situation that you are a Kohen, your son is a Kohen, and he wants to marry an Ethiopian girl, and there's no way to know. Maybe she's Jewish, maybe she's not. If you take her now to convert, and she accepts all the mitzvot, and she's a righteous girl, your son cannot marry her. Why? Because she's 50% Jewish from birth, 50% convert. 50% convert, Kohen cannot marry. There's a doubt. Safek deoraita lechumra. Do you understand how complicated is the situation here or no? Big thing. Usually anyway, the Ethiopians like to marry each other, just like Syrians and just like Persian and just like Bukharian and just like the rest of the world. People like to marry their own kind. They feel more comfortable, they have things in mutual, which is perfectly normal. However, if that's a condition that a person does, that's a very big risk, playing with fire. Because if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to marry someone that it's not like you, from a different part of the world, and that's your shidduch, and you turn it down because you don't want to even go on a date, you may end up losing your shidduch for life.
Usually parents are the ones that influence children.
Huh? Oh,
The parents that live with it.
if you can help him out over there. What?
There's always the parents that gets involved. Like if you speak Ashkenaz,
The parents usually run the show.
forget about it.
The parents run the show. The parents run the show. In the movies and the films about the Lubavitcher Rebbe, in many of his pictures, his tefillin was on his forehead, falling all the way down. So they ask him, Rebbe, the halacha said that tefillin must be above the hair, not below. Tefillin cannot be on the forehead. If it's on the forehead, it's like you did not put tefillin. It has to start from above the hair. What happens if you become bald? Where your hair used to grow, the tefillin has to still be up above it, not below it. So they ask him, obviously when he was older, he didn't have hair. But his tefillin was all the way down, very close to the eyebrows. So they say to him, Rabbi, well, the tefillin has to be higher. So what was his answer? Who is a Chabadnik here? Huh? Call one of them from next door, right here. There's Chabadnikim right here.
Even I can dream.
Huh?
Even I can dream.
Can you believe that yesterday someone sent me a message on a Facebook asking me if I'm Chabad?
Chabadnik don't like your style.
I know that. But I'm saying it's...
Using your style, I was arguing with them. They have four different philosophies.
But I have news for you. One time they invited me right here next door to speak in the yortzeit of the Rabbi, of the Ilula. They don't call it yortzeit, Ilula. And they invited me. After we finished here, they invited me. I don't know, some of you I think came in with me. You came with me? Do you know what happened there? I started to talk 15 minutes. In the first 15 minutes, they were ready to shoot me. But when I finished my 40 minutes, they came to the street and hugged me with tears. Thank you very much for saying the truth. You opened our eyes. That's what they told me.
I once mentioned on Shabbat,
Right here, next door.
a group of boys also smoking cigarettes on Shabbat with the kippahs. I mentioned it. What Chabadnik tells me? What? You judging people? What am I judging people? Out in public, 10 guys smoking cigarettes. Why kippah?
All right, let's not go to that direction. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe answer, and I'm sure many people, religious people, when they see his picture, that's the first thing they think when they see the tefillin down. So here we clarify the mystery. He answered, when he was young and he had hair, his hair started very low. Here you go. So no problem, everything is kosher, Baruch Hashem. Next question. Next question. We're making a big progress here today. Because, for instance, there's a lot of questions about Tefillin Rabbeinu Tam, which I'm going to skip right now. Doesn't apply to 80% of the people anyway.
Can we ask questions?
Yes?
Maybe silly question, but I'm sure Rashab is for a month.
How long?
1 month.
Okay, you have to give us a bracha after the shiur. Good.
Anyway, my Rebbe told me that if I'm not putting the I guess the pot, to wash my hands by my bed, I can do it in my bathroom. I don't have a mansion, but I do have a big house.
Yes?
It's not 4 steps. It's more than that. So
Okay.
at first I was hopping to make it 4 steps. And my husband said, what are you doing? You're crazy? And then when he learned, He was also hopping together with me, finally.
The house of the deers.
Rabbi told me, no, that's too much. You don't have to do it. Walk, it's okay. Walk. So, do I take the 4 steps and stop? Take another 4 steps and stop?
If you want to do extra, yes. If you don't want, it's okay. You can walk normal. I answered that question. I say, if you want to walk normal, you're not violating the rule. If you want to be extra, you know what extra means? A person asks his son, I want you to bring all the vegetables and the fruits from the trunk of my car. And there was another box of books also, and he also brought the books. If he didn't bring the books, did he make any violation from his father's instruction? No. But now when he brings the books, the father is saying, wow, kol hakavod. Even that, when I didn't tell him, he brought it anyway. That's what it means, chumrah. Which means you cannot come to the kid and say to him, you wicked, why you didn't bring the books? Because it's not going to be fair. Well, I follow your instructions. To give him a punishment, you can. But when he does extra, then he deserves a little bit extra. That's why all the rabbis in all the books, they always finish, Ve'amachmir tavo alav bracha. And someone who goes extra strict, extra blessing would come to him.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What is the, why do you have to take a keli and wash your hand like this? Why can't you really put it under the sink and leave the water run on it? What is the keli makes it different?
No, the keli that you put next to your bed is just to save you the walking, that's all.
No, I'm talking about even if you are next to the sink, they have a keli there.
Yeah.
And you make one.
Yeah.
Why do you have to do that? 'Cause
No.
that's how it comes out.
You need keli.
I understand, but what is the source?
Same steps.
That you
the
need
steps,
a keli?
right, left, right, left.
No, because you have to wash the hands in such a way that you have to have koach gavra. It's called koach gavra. And it has to come from up with the hands. One hand has to serve the other. There's issues in it. It's
Open up the sink, that's not
no,
covered.
not for the morning. The sink, I told you, is good for the bathroom. But for other netilot, you need kli. Next question. Bar mitzvah of my son on Shabbat in a shul. People gave us gifts on Shabbat. Can my son accept the gifts on Shabbat or no?
What kind of gift?
Not cash.
Even books, tallit, not cash.
Not checks
How they can carry his gifts on Shabbat?
Can he become the owner of those gifts before Shabbat ends? Can you make a kinyan on Shabbat, like business? Can you become the owner on Shabbat or no?
No, can you rent it?
Up to Motzei Shabbat, it's considered borrowing, like he lended to you. And when Shabbat finish, you officially become the owner. So if he gave it to you on Shabbat, it's not the end of the world. So a few more hours until you become the owner. Anyway, he's not coming back to take it. Usually when people give you a bar mitzvah gift, they're not asking for it 2 hours later.
Rabbi, when we come to somebody's house on Shabbat, we bring a bottle of wine.
You bring it from before Shabbat. Oh, you mean on Shabbat itself, you carry it in a eruv? Yeah.
Is that not giving a gift?
Absolutely a gift, sure.
Do it?
Why? You can do that. Derech eretz to give wine when you come to the guests.
Give a gift.
Doesn't matter, they're not drinking it anyway, they're giving it to you. And if they keep it from themselves, Motzei Shabbat, they become the owner. If they give it to the guests enjoy it. Who cares who the owner of? Somebody give you a good wine on a table, you care if the owner own it or one of the guests own it? Doesn't matter.
A lot of shuls give the bar mitzvah boy a set or Mishnah Berurah on Shabbat.
Yeah.
And they have his name.
Because they have no other plan.
They have-
Where will they find them otherwise?
On the wrapping paper, on the...
They won't find them otherwise. Yes. Next question. When there is only 9 adults in a minyan, can we take a little kid that is not bar mitzvah yet and make him the 10th or no?
Yes,
If she understands.
yes. If he's mature enough.
The answer, only when there absolutely no way to get the 10th person to the minyan. Absolutely. Only the Ashkenazim mekelim beze. Sfaradim, no matter what, they don't do it. The Ashkenazim, Igrot Moshe, Mishpatei Uziel, all kinds of poskim Ashkenazim say with Sha'at Adchak Gadol, very, very serious problem that there's no way to get the 10th. You want to take Sefer Torah, you want to do all kinds of things. There's no other way. The Ashkenazim mekelim beze. Probably, if you ask me, I don't know, I have to check. The Hasidim also won't agree to something like that. That's my opinion. But the Sfaradim for sure don't do it. The Ashkenazim, if they don't have any other choice, they do it. The next question, what age he has to be that kid? If it's 12 and 10 months, no, it's almost bar mitzvah, fine. What's the difference, 2 months? Well, what happens if he's 8 years old? He was just playing Lego. Come, Hamoudi. Come say Kaddish. Come say...
He's immature.
Mature, 8 years old, you understand. He say brachot, he pray, he comes to the shul, he sits in his place. 8 years old.
When saying Kaddish, huge symbolic meaning on it. He doesn't know what Hashem is. You can tell him now say Kaddish.
99% of the people don't know what Hashem is. Yes, unfortunately. People today, 20 years old, mentally their level is less than 10 what it used to be. If Chazal lived today, do you know what would be the age of bar mitzvah? Minimum 20. No question about it in my mind. But bar mitzvah would be only in 20 years old. Look at the teenagers, what nonsense they do. But back then, 13 years old was already a father, Habibi. He got married, a year later was a father. What do you think? Ask your grandmother from Syria what age she got married.
My great-grandfather got married on his bar mitzvah day.
Your grandfather. Here, your grandfather got married in his bar mitzvah day. 2 parties. You save the catering. That was worth it, just for that. What's better? Shliach tzibur that pray with great voice that everyone enjoyed the tefillah, but is not such a tzaddik? Or someone that sounds like a crow, but is a big tzaddik? Good question. That's a good one. You have someone who sings beautiful, but you know, the tiloni. And then you have one that is serious tzaddik, but his voice is not exactly David Shiru.
He's a better representative.
Huh?
Sadiq's a better
As long
representative.
as it's murutz and the tzibur, so then the one with the nicer voice is acceptable.
Yeah.
The answer is tzaddik is always better. Voice is important. Tzaddik is 1,000,000 times more important. However, if his voice is really, really bad, you know, like sometimes the voice, it makes everyone suffer. You know, it reminds me, one guy came to get a job in a shul. So he said to the president, I'm a chazan, I'm a cantor, please, would you consider test me how I pray, maybe you hire me? So the president looks at him, he looks okay. He said, okay, yeah, go ahead, pray. Shabbat, he let him pray. So by the time he finished the prayer, he came to him and said, no, Mr. President, how did you like my praying? He said to him, it was beautiful. You know which part was the nicest? The Tfilat Shmona Esrei, when you whisper. That's a chazan. Everyone wants to be chazan today. Someone that is stuttering, heavy, not a word here and there, heavy, really heavy, like gets stuck for 10 seconds until the word comes out sometimes. Can he be shliach tzibur, or it's torach tzibur, or it's torturing the public now? Well, for sure it would reflect bad comments, because we know the level of the people. No one has tolerance and no one has patience, unfortunately, in these days. So that part, whether it's allowed or not allowed, it doesn't matter. It will happen for sure. I'm just asking now, him, should he ask the Gabbai to let him be shliach tzibur in his father's yortzeit? Or since he knows that he has limitation in his speech, better not to even try, because it's going to be torach tzibur. He actually makes an avera by forcing everyone to stay extra 15 minutes, and they get angry and they have plans and they didn't know it's going to take that long. You understand? It has...
Ask somebody to be instead of him.
The answer, if the public have no problem with that, then it's allowed. If the public protest, They come to the Rabbi, even one or two people, they say, come on, don't do it, we love him, everything is fine, but we want the tefillah to go quickly and smoothly. If the public are against that, you shouldn't let him. But we should know that if we have a stuttering guy, but tzaddik, and a guy that speaks fluent with beautiful voice, but not tzaddik, the stuttering guy comes before him, even if the public don't like it. Because when your fear, Irat Shamayim, when your righteousness is stuttering, it's much worse when your mouth is stuttering. But that nobody cares. That's the problem of this society we live in. We live in a huge lie here. What do you think? When they see someone that has a physical limitation, making comments. But someone who has spiritual limitation, badil vayavor, no problem.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Wasn't a shliach tzibur Chazan supposed to be moirer the
Yes, supposed to be me'orer, but if he's not a tzaddik, better.
music is moirer.
Yeah, so I tell you what, today there's no problem. Today in every shul they can find someone who has a nice voice and also me'orer. And if not, they bring the import from across the street. From across the street. Here by the Syrians, every other kid is a chazan here. You have hundreds of beautiful voices. They have very good chazanim here. Every shul here around here, almost every shul, from what I've seen in the last 20 years, the best chazanim in the world.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why do you say somebody which is has a bad voice but is very?
It's better to have bad voice but you tzaddik than to have wonderful voice and to be rasha.
But it's not moirer the people.
Doesn't matter, but he's rasha. Hashem doesn't want to hear him. What's better, that the people will wake up and Hashem will put a black on display because the representative is corrupted?
So it depends on the representative.
Yeah, very simple. What is shliach tzibur? Shliach tzibur is a lawyer. When you come in front of the judge, begging for your life, who do you want to go? With a lawyer that have wonderful reputation in court, 20 years, judges respect him. They know when he says something, it's a word, they give him respect. They sometimes close their eyes on certain things because they know that he never means bad. Or you want to come with a sleazy lawyer that has such a terrible reputation to represent you. As soon as you walk to the court case, judge already signed the papers. The rest is just a show, already wrote guilty. As soon as you saw your lawyer, is fuming. Who do you want? You want to put a corrupted rasha to be a shliach tzibur? What about people who jump to pray? They're excited, anxiety. They want to be shliach tzibur, but they don't know how to read Hebrew. It's a very, 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 very common problem. 9 out of 10 don't know how to read.
120 translations.
They don't know how to read. They mamash mess up the whole tefillah. They mean well. They could be even righteous people, but they don't know how to read. Because you need to know how to read. You have to pronounce the words, because every tiny mistake changed the meaning of the word. Someone just sent me today a joke. The joke is incredible. Imagine if it happened in reality. It would be the most stupid tragedy ever. Someone say to him, one neighbor say to his friend, hello, John. Yes. Can I tell you something? Yeah, go ahead. But listen, do you promise me that you're not going to get angry? He said, depend what you're going to say. He said, no, please promise me you're not going to get angry. He said, okay, go ahead. He said, when you went away, I came into the house, he doesn't hear well, the guy. Oh, I'm sorry, it was in the text. Wait, correction. He was texting him. The other day I came to your house, you were not there, and, I had a problem over there. He wrote to him, with your wife. This guy heard that. He took a gun, killed his wife. Then he say, correction, with the Wi-Fi. Correction. Autospell. He wrote autospell. The autospell fixed the Wi-Fi to wife. There used to be חיים והמוות ביד הלשון. Now חיים ויד המוות ביד הטקסט. One little mistake, your life is over. So someone who doesn't know how to say the words, now we're having a big problem, because some of them are arrogant and proud. They get angry when you tell them they don't know how to read. It's a very sensitive issue. What do you do? It's a big problem. Technically, you're not supposed to use such a shliach tzibur, because he basically makes the blessings into curses, and he messes up the meaning of the words. I give you one tiny example. Some people, many, it's a very common problem. When they say Kaddish, they say instead of ve'yatzmach purkaneh, they say ve'itzmach purkaneh. What's the difference? You pay attention from now on, at least half of the people that say Kaddish in the world saying ve'itzmach purkaneh. They don't say ve'yatzmach purkaneh. What's the difference? Ve'itzmach purkaneh means the salvation will come by itself without Hashem. Kfira. One tiny correction, you're cursing Hashem. You have to say ve'yatzmach purkaneh, meaning Hashem will send the salvation. That's the whole purpose of the tefillah. One tiny mistake, you messed up the whole tefillah. Or other things. There's other examples. For instance, v'chol oivecha, many people say karega ikaretu instead of kerega. Keka. Ka, ke. Not such a big mistake. Make a whole big difference in a tefillah. What's ka and what's ke? Karega yovedu is when you pray Hashem, all your enemies will die right now. I don't have patience to wait until tomorrow, which means Hashem is your servant. You're making him work for you. Right now. You listen? Right now. But kerega yovedu means in 1 minute will be vanished. When that minute would be, when you choose. I'm not the boss, I'm only begging. It's about time one day you're going to vanish all your enemies. Karega, right now. Kerega, when you want. You see how it changed the whole prayer?
My new series.
Huh?
No Hebrew series.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Bottom line now, someone got on a teva and he started to pray, and every other word is a huge mistake. Do you take him down? Or כאשר עבדנו, עבדנו. Not to embarrass a Jew. What do you do?
Take him down.
Taking him down is like murdering him in cold blood in front of the public.
It's a bit donate.
What's better, that the entire prayer will be messed up, not one word will be pronounced correctly,
They could ask him if you feel
but you did not spill his blood? You wait after he finish, you come with him to the side, I have to talk to you, please. I suggest you go, you take someone to teach you how to do the prayer exactly word by word, because there are many mistakes. And, in a nice way, he's still going to get angry or offended one way or the other, but at least you did it in a respectful way. Or to stop him in the middle, it's not my problem that you push yourself to something you don't know. You brought this embarrassment on yourself. Please have a seat. Moshe, come here. Replace him right now. What the Gabbai should do?
Let him finish.
they should not embarrass him.
Let him finish.
Huh?
See, by Tamar, she didn't say, she says, better that you should go and kivsh on ha'esh and not embarrass the person. Okay.
The answer, we're not allowed to embarrass him in public. Later on, you talk to him in a nice way. A person that is handicapped on a wheelchair, that all the time sits, can he be shliach tzibur? Because shliach tzibur has to stand in Tfilat Shmona Esrei, in a kedusha. There's things that he has to stand. But this particular one on a wheelchair cannot stand. So can he become a shliach tzibur? Since he's anus, it counts like he's standing? Or better not to? The answer, some say shouldn't be, because he cannot stand in the parts of the tefillah that you can do. So for himself, it counts that he was standing, because Hashem knows he cannot stand. But why to force it on the public that somebody can be that standing. However, if he did, it's count fully that the tefillah is kosher. And some say, even better, why someone like this has a bigger and more broken heart than someone who stands and runs and is healthy. Because usually people that have limitations, all kinds of sicknesses or birth defects or all kinds of things like this, usually they naturally has a much more broken heart in general than other people. But I want to tell you a story and we'll finish with that. One guy said to his father lost his legs. He was close to 70 years old. Something happened, diabetic, they had to cut his legs. So when they put him on a wheelchair, he stayed a happy man, happy religious guy. His son was very depressed that his father now is in a wheelchair, they have to build a ramp, it changed the whole life, they have to get a special van with a motor. It's very hard for them to adjust. So he sees every one of us suffer, and the one that supposedly should suffer the most, business as usual by him. He's very happy. So he came to his father, he said to him, Abba, I don't get it. How can you function as nothing happened? Are you living in denial? What's the story here? So his father told him, let me tell you a story. Then you'll understand. He said, let me ask you a question. I'll tell you a mashal, parable. Reuven gave his friend Shimon $100 million to do business with. And he said to him, you don't have to worry when to return it. It's yours, no interest, no nothing. Make money, do business, buy building, do whatever you want, it's your money. One day you give it back, but right now it's all yours, use it. When you make a lot of money, it will be easy for you to return. So after Reuven got $100 million, Shimon got $100 million, and he made it into billions. One day after many, many years, Reuven came back and say, I want $5 million back from the 100 that I gave you. Would you give it to him with a happy heart, or would you be upset that you have to give back now $5 million after he gave you $100 million and he asked 5 back? So he thought, of course I'll be happy to give, ma. Not only he doesn't want from the profits that you made on the money, he wants only 5% of what he gave you. So that's exactly what happened between me and Hashem. He gave me health, full body, legs, everything, 70 years. I married all of you. I made money. I bought house. We helped you out. We did so many wonderful things. Now when I'm 70, how many more years I have to live? 5, 10, whatever it is. You took back 5%. How can I be upset? It depends how you look at things. Well, how can I be upset, he said. He gave me 100%. He took 5%. After 70 years. It could have been a lot worse. So why are you so upset? Well, Hashem natan, Hashem lakach, Yehi Shem Hashem mevorach. Hashem gave, Hashem took. The name of Hashem should always be blessed. If you wake up in the middle of the night, you mean to the bathroom, you mean?
No, you don't get up. Just, but you might touch your eyes or your ears.
You don't have to get up. If you just wake up and you're still in bed, you don't have to run to wash your hands.
Go sleep again. And you're up for maybe 20 minutes.
Every time a person wakes up in the middle of the night, first thing he has to do to get used to, he rubs his hands in the blanket. Like this, 3 times. First thing to do. That's also helping. Or in sand. If a person doesn't have water for netilah, they can do on sand. There's alternative solutions. But if he comes up to the bathroom, he goes to the bathroom, he has to do netilah. However, if it's a woman who gets up 4 times a night to feed the baby, and it's a very serious problem, every time she gets up, she has to do netilah. Some women do it. But if it's hard for her to do all these netilot again and again and again, it also makes the hand dry. It makes the hands dry and painful and cuts. So she can go every time she wakes up with a blanket and she can feed the baby and go back to sleep.
So if you have to go to the bathroom, you have to do the
Better to do. If it's one time a night, very quickly to do netilah like this. Doesn't have to. Just go quickly like that, to dry the hand. You can do it in a bathroom if the bathroom have a sink, but you have to dry the hand out of the bathroom. Yes. Okay, I think time is up. Thank you very much. We'll see you next Tuesday. Baruch Adonai leolam. Amen ve'amen.